So this is week 8 discussion board. It says discuss at least 2 types of data collection methods. So the first one I chose is observation techniques, which is when one observes a behavior or behaviors in another to collect data. Observation techniques are used when interviews or questionnaires can't measure. And the book gives an example of a child's behavior in a classroom. Using the methods of interviewing or questionnaires would probably not give the most truthful and objective data. So you can use observations to collect that data that you wouldn't be able to get. Observations can be structured or unstructured. Structured observations categorize behaviors before the observation according to their characteristics. And an unstructured behavior is when the researcher fully participates in the activity under study and is used when little is known about the behavior being observed. The second data collection method I chose was logs and journals. There are 2 types of logs and journals, and one is where the researcher records the process of their research, and the second type is the journal is kept by the social worker or the client or another participant in the project that provides data for the research. The client may record his or her behavior, or the social worker may record the client's behavior on their own. So question 1 says, what type of data collection do you feel most comfortable with? And for me personally, I chose interview, specifically the semi-structured interview, because it has a little more freedom to pursue hunches that you have or ask questions that weren't first put out there for you or on the format. It doesn't contain a strict format, so it's kind of like you have guidelines and you can talk to the client as much as you want, whatever, and astray from the questions or subjects that you have laid out for you. And I like the freedom. I like being able to sit there and if something comes up, be able to go on my observations and ask more questions or talk about deeper things. Which one would be most difficult? I said logs because I think for me it would be more difficult to write down all the observations and research and the surroundings of the environment, such as a home visit. I know that was used in the book, while being able to interact with the client and give your all to them in that conversation while trying to remember what you need to write down in the observations. I also feel it could, I'm sure it is really helpful and gives a lot of data. I just am more of a visual person, so writing down things would be different for me.